I really went off the true emotional deep end. I was like, it don't matter. I'm gonna hit him. I don't care what way I got to. I'm gonna hit him. And then I'm like, there's no scenario when I line up in front of PQ. And then the odds of me, if I do line up in front of him, of me actually knocking him down is kind of low. I guess I didn't realize, like, purple was it's just in me. You know what I mean? It's like it really it's taken a hold of me. Guys, we are back here at Punchline Pod, presented by Snapback Sports. It's a great time to be back with you guys. I'm Marlon Humphrey. Jack, take it away.
It's been a little. Everyone has been checking out the pods with DJ Chark, Matt Judon, RG3, Tyreek. We recorded all those during Super Bowl, so it's good to be back talking live about what's going on around the league in Marlon's life. Many exciting things to come. But first, as always, Marlon, what is on your mind today?
Honestly, what's on my mind was a tweet I saw. And the tweet said, what makes our generation so unhappy? Well, first I questioned, I don't mean to be inconsiderate, but are people really unhappy?
That's what the studies are saying. That's what the data is saying, that our generation, we're around the same age and lower, are unhappy. And they put a lot of the blame on social media.
See,
are you happy?
That's the thing. Like, it was,
I'm happy.
I was like, frick, like, and I was, it was bad time to see it. I was on in Mexico. So I was, was kind of happy. I will admit I was a little happy. But then I was like, is it social media? I went the social media route. Some people said that they told something along the lines of, they told us how to get things done, and then they changed the rules. Basically saying, they said, you go to high school, you get your diploma, you go to college, then you're supposed to get a job. And 50 years ago, that kind of was how it was pretty standard. Like, if you did this, you got this.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, like, all the rules changed. But I said, yeah, I feel like it goes to a lack of being present due to possibly either comparing of others and or social media. I felt it was a combination of the two. And I'm just like, if you think like, I'm doing well, I got a nice job, blah, blah, blah. But if you look at this guy, he's probably killing it off some like crypto or something. Like, it's always someone doing better, unless you're the richest man is Bezos or Musk right now, I think.
Yeah, I think maybe one of those two now.
Yeah, so it's like, if you're always looking to see who else is doing it, I don't know if you can ever be happy. So basically, long story short, first, I don't really know if people are truly unhappy. I know that the studies, you said that, but I'm like, I don't know. Like, I don't know.
Well, all right, so here's my take. Social media has opened up the pool to see, like, how much better others are doing than you, right? Like, think about in the old days, no social, you go around your neighborhood or who you were at school with. That's really all you knew. Now you can see other people your age in your field, like, who are living in California, who are living in Italy, like, all across the world. So it's opened that up. But I think this is good timing. Let me ask you. All your friends just got paid in free agency. You see new contracts. You've been on an old contract. Do you ever see a contract and it either makes you jealous, makes you unhappy, you start comparing yourself?
Me personally, no. Maybe if I didn't sign a big deal before, maybe.
Like, does that make you unhappy though? Like, that's the thing. Like, whether
unhappy.
Or not,
No. I don't. I'm just a happy guy. Like, it's hard to. I think some people really. There's a big plethora, I think, in our generation that legit, their feelings come and go with social media. I think there's certain people that self-sabotage their own selves based off who they follow and who they interact with on social media. And I don't really understand why you put yourself through these emotional traumas. It's like, I hate this dude. Yeah, I follow him and I comment under like all his stuff or like this dude's so dumb. Like, oh, I hate him. Like, there's someone probably right now. I'm just gonna use this guy because he's Patrick Queen. There's someone that Patrick Queen going to the Steelers pissed them off, as it should if you're a Ravens fan, as it should. But now they're probably gonna follow this guy, continue following this guy, and everything he posts, they're gonna be like, "Bro, you suck. You blah 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 blah." Every single time he posts, and it's just like, I feel like this might be really affecting you possibly. And you could just unfollow the guy and just wait till you play him and then hate on him that week instead of hating on him, year round. And it is still fresh. He just recently signed. I do understand. But I'm saying there's people that do that with like real celebs as well. And I feel like it can probably mess with you, maybe. And I can't really put myself into an unhappy mindset, but that's my take. Whew,
I'm
that's a
with
lot.
you. And
That
that's
was a
why I
lot.
think our policy on the block button too, like there's no responsibility that I gotta let people just yell at me all day and make me unhappy. So I just hit the block button every once in a while.
Exactly. I feel like the block button is not used enough, and it's simple. Like, if social media is actually affecting you, I mean, I don't want to be inconsiderate once again. It reminds me of cyberbullying, and I think it was Tyler the Creator. He was like, I don't know what the tweet was. Might have said something
Just
bad. I
shut
can't
the
really remember.
computer.
Yeah, just like boom, like, oh, or go get like a finsta fake. Just go start a whole new thing or something. It's like, if people are literally attacking you, you can just like shut it off and go into the real world, and then boom. So that's my take. I can't. Is this generation unhappy? I guess so, but I feel like if you have the ability to be online to complain, you at least have something going for you. There's some people that don't, live in a third world. You know what I mean? They ain't, So yeah. Ooh, ooh,
That's a good return to what's on your mind.
yes.
Geno Stone and Patrick Queen. Those are your boys. Those are your guys. We had them on the pod. Great dudes. We were rooting for them to get their bag. But I don't know if I expected it to come from these sources. Talk me through, did you know they were going to sign? Like, are they texting the chat like, yo, like, just a heads up, this is about to get crazy? Or you're finding out and you're just like, what is going on here? What's the line? Because you got to get paid. It's a business, but
Yeah,
set the line
yeah,
as a lifetime
yeah.
Raven.
For Gino, I was talking with Gino. Gino, I'll say this. You know, writing your goals is very important. Gino got cut in the past. I think he got cut twice. You wrote down, what contract he wanted from the Ravens. Didn't get it from the Ravens. Got a nice deal with the Bengals. But anyway, I'm like, yo, Gino, like, what's the deal? Like, where are you going, bro? Like, where are you going? And he's like, maybe this team, maybe this team. And then free agency like really gets close. And he's like, he hits a chat. He's like, I got my teams. I'm like, so who are the teams? Like, you keep saying you got your teams. I'm like, do you actually have teams or do you like, what's the deal, bro? Like, he's like, I got my teams. I got my team. I'm like, okay, okay. So then he tells me it's, I'm not gonna put team, but he tells me it's two teams. He's like, the other team matched apparently. I'm like, it's another team in the Bengals, and I'm like, so what's the deal? And before I know anything, it's the freaking Bengals. And I'm like, bro, like, what about the other team? Like, like what? And he never really gave me I need to ask him again, like what? So then, like, I'm like, dang, this dude really went to the Bengals. And like, this is the weird thing. When you play for a team, I'm thinking to myself, like, you play for a team, you don't really realize stuff like like how much I guess your loyalty is to a certain team. Like, you don't really realize how the division really is until like your homie, like Gino's my guy. goes to the ops, and you're like, so then, and it's like, I'm like, Geno's calling me like, bro, ate dinner with the boys last night, Joe Burrow and all these guys. And I'm like, oh, nice. Like, I'm like really happy for him. And then it just, every time I get happy, it's like, bro, but you're with the Bengals though. Like, and it's like, I'm trying not to, now that it's kind of over now. Now I can, but I wasn't trying to, I was like, enjoy this, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is cool. But I'm like, screw you a little bit, like a tad. And then I realized, like, there's a lot of safeties in the market. I was like, it's okay. It's okay. You got to get paid. So it is what it is. Now PQ, I'll be honest with you. When I saw that, I got mad emotional. I'm just gonna be honest with you. That one hurt, like, to the core. Top linebacker in free agency. So I'm like, I literally, when I saw that, I started thinking to myself, okay, how can I line up in front of PQ? I started thinking about special teams. I'm like, he's not going to play special teams. And then I'm like, and it would be pretty hard to just knock PQ down anyway. Like, he's much bigger than me. So I really went off the true emotional deep end. I was like, it don't matter. I'm going to hit him. I don't care what way I got to. I'm going to hit him. And then I'm like, there's no scenario when I line up in front of PQ. And then the odds of me, if I do line up in front of him, of me actually knocking him down is kind of low. So then, I came back, I was just like, bro, the Steelers, I can't believe this. Like, I'm really like, dang. Like, I like I said, I guess I didn't realize, like, purple was it's just in me. You know what I mean? It's like, it really it's taken a hold of me. It's taken a hold of me over the years. And it didn't really hit me until those two things happened. Geno, not as so much, but PQ a lot. So then I'm like, I'm like, I got to text PQ. So I'm like, I forgot what I even said, but I was like, bro, tell me this was the only option. Tell me, like, I just couldn't. I was like, bro, you have to help me get through this here. Like, if you just sit here and tell me you just chose the Steelers out of just, he was like, bro, he said it was the best situation. And then he told me the other team, and then I was like, I hear you. I do hear you. I like I said, I wasn't trying to rain on nobody's parade immediately. You sign a deal. I do know that's a huge time. So, it ain't time to rain on nobody's parade then and there. Even though I did tell Geno, because he, confirmed he was going to do it early. I told Geno, bro, you still don't have to sign. I was like, bro, it's not too late. Like, you can renege on the deal. And then, even up to when he was like, yo, I just landed in Cincinnati. I was like, it's still not too late. Like, I told him that multiple times. Not that he was going to listen to me, obviously, but I'm just saying. But PQ, once he did tell me his situation, though, I could understand a little bit, but still, that's a lot. That's just a lot.
He just tweeted out a picture of him in the, like, jersey. It just looks like messed up. Like, it just does not. I said, I know you don't know Ravens history pre your time. This is the best player that has ever flipped sides, like, in their prime.
In his prime.
Like, by far. Like, this is the most hostile takeover that we've ever seen. I'm happy for him, but it is weird to see.
Dude, as odd as this sounds, yellow and purple are my favorite two colors. It's very odd. But I don't like how he just did the jersey swap so fast. He could have just waited till he really put on the jersey. Like, he didn't. Right? Like, that's us. That's our jersey. That you just. Hey, look. It's freaking weird. It's just weird. It's more so. It's weird. It is actually weird.
Last year you said you don't circle any games on the calendar, but finally I think we're gonna get some that, when the schedule comes out in a month or so, you're gonna be like, I'm excited. Like you said, you're not lining up against him.
You're gonna see me in the slot. You're gonna see me in the slot. I'm like, I'm cracking you. I'm coming to crack. And the thing is,
Call your boy Monk. Tell Monk to line you up for a run block and just pick off PQ.
Monk's my boy. Monk will make it happen. The only thing is, dude might crack me. You know what I mean? That's the only bad thing. You know, if I could just somehow just catch him lacking. Oh no, dude, that one, I was legit emotional at that. Like that's when I was like, dang, like this Raven stuff it's like it's really kind of getting to me a little bit. Like I didn't even, you just think like, oh, you play for this, you got drafted here, you play for the squad, like yeah, go Ravens, like woo, and then you like I legit, like I'm like to my family chat, I'm like, there's no way, no, like no, I'm like no, he didn't, and it's like you almost like not even believing it that is true.
What do they say? You live long enough to see yourself become the villain. You either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become a villain. PQ tweeted that he wanted to be a villain, and then people really started coming at him. And then, did you see that?
I did see that. I will say this: Mike Tomlin is an interesting guy. I feel like he is really good at he's an enabler. He is an enabler. I feel like people go to the Steelers. Not that PQ is not tough, but actually, I'm not even gonna say who I'm talking about. But I
Yeah,
feel
no,
like
you are gonna say you
I
are.
feel like he is a freaking he's like a
No, I think he's an
let's
enabler.
let's say you let's say you come from another team. They did. He built you up. I feel like he builds you up. Like let's say you weren't performing the way you need to. You weren't this. You go over there, and I don't know what he says to you, but he's like, "Yeah, we gonna get it back in blood from them." Yeah, I feel like that's him and PQ probably the perfect little freaking match, and he just freaking probably gonna gas him up like the Ravens didn't want you. They hated you over there. They hated you over there. And PQ's like, "Yeah, you're right." It's like it wasn't the case. It's like but the
You're
freaking
gonna
see,
have
I
to
can't believe it.
you're gonna have to get us some amazing if you'll get over your over your feelings. Later, you get some stories about Russ, Justin Fields, and everything that's going on over there because there's got to be some wild times in
Yeah,
Pittsburgh.
the Justin Fields was surprising too. I don't know. This whole situation is weird. Screw the Steelers, man. Honestly, I mean PQ, I can't believe you did that. But I do understand. I do understand. But still, no,
King Henry, your ex teammate, your I don't know if I want to call him a friend because he kind of did you wrong,
he did me dirty.
but Derrick Henry signs with the Baltimore Ravens. What's good with that? No trust between teammates? Is there beef? Is there trust issues? What's going on here?
So this is what happened. This is what happened. And actually, I'll just tell the story, and then I'll ask if I can tell the story.
Okay.
Long story short, I get a text message. I'm in Aspen, Colorado, and someone says, "Can you talk?" It's Eric DaCosta. So you know me. I'm like, "Oh, it's been real, boys." I'm like, "Dang, man, I've enjoyed it, man." I'm like, "Ah, man, I really have I've enjoyed it, man. I'm over here on vacation, man, getting cut on my day off." So I'm like, like, I'm like, "Hello." He's up. What's up, man? How's it going? I'm like, and like when he's, like I said, he be working. People might not think he's working, but do be working. I realized quickly he was not calling the chat. He's like, "Hey, what's up, man?" I'm like, "I'm talking to your boy." I'm like, "Who?" I'm like, "Who's my boy?" He's like, "The king." I'm like, "Oh, not the king." He's like, "The king." And uh, he's like, "Yeah, man, I'm talking to him, just trying to get to understand him a little bit. Tell me about him a little bit." And I'm like, "Yeah, man, I know it was my guy back in college. We were super cool, yada yada." He's the king, and he kind of he's a workaholic. Like he's like kind of obsessed. Like he's very obsessed with body, wellness, like all the like recovery. He's obsessed with all that stuff. And he's like, "Yeah, I'm trying to get to understand blah blah blah." So I'm like, I can hit him up. I'm like, I can, do what I do. He's like, no. He's like, no. He's like, do not. He's basically like, do not mess up what I'm doing. Like, do not do that. And so I'm like, dang. I'm like, well, what if I just hit him up like, like just casually, like you know what I'm saying. Like he's like, yeah, you can do whatever, but do not. He made it very clear, do not mess up what I'm doing. So I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. So I hit I hit him up, and I'm like, yo, what's up with the IV guy? Like, you hooked me up with your IV guy during the playoffs. He's like, yeah. I was like, where you gonna do it at this year? And he's like, I'm in Dallas, I'm doing it here and there. I'm like, oh, you in Dallas? So like he didn't give me. I thought I was gonna get something with the wellness there. Didn't
Yeah.
give me anything. So I'm like, he told me he's in Dallas right now. I'm like, oh, I got it. I'm like, oh, you taking a visit to the Cowboys? You going to the Cowboys, huh? He's like, I don't know what he said. He was like, nah, I live here now, blah blah blah. So then I was like, okay, I got to go a little deeper. I gotta go. I gotta open myself up some. So then he'll just, possibly spill the beans. So I'm like, I go, man, bro, I ain't gonna lie. I low key always wanted to play for the Cowboys at one point, and he was like, yeah, man, that'd be nice. I'm like, bro, this is when you say like I'm actually talking to your team right now, and like, I'm like throwing everything out there. He's just like, yeah, man, like, yeah, that'd be yeah, and I'm just like, what the freak? So I'm like, dang, I'm like, he don't know what he's doing. I'm like, he don't know what he's doing. Like, he's not doing a good job, clearly. Like, the guy hasn't said anything. Like, we're out. Like, there's no shot. I'm like, EDC's lost his touch. And then the very next morning, the dude freaking signs to the Ravens. I'm like, bro, like you didn't even tell me like anything. Like, you didn't tell me anything. And it's like, so I couldn't I couldn't freaking believe it. And I mean, it really felt like a slight betrayal of trust. You could have let me at least, I could at least tweeted the crown emoji, like, like with the eye emoji, crown emoji, eye emoji, but we gotta have him. Well, now we'll get to have him on the pod live in the studio. But
Yeah,
he's looking at some.
we're gonna have to fix those trust
Yeah,
issues.
we gotta talk about that for sure, for sure.
That's crazy. That's great. But you did say you would have tweeted out the crown emoji because
I probably would have tweeted out the crown emoji for sure, skis. Or like, like even with Geno, what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure I told Geno to let me know before he signed, and he did not. So low key, everyone's kind of swerving me on trusting me right now, and I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? Maybe I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
so are we tapping that for recruiter Marlowe as a dub, or it feels like that might
Personally,
not.
so this is kind of what it sounds like to me. EDC called me, basically be like, I need your help deeply. I really need your help. I think if I don't text Derrick Henry, he's not a Raven. Even if I didn't directly, subconsciously, I
Mm.
influence him. You got to think about that. Like, oh, my boy from Bama and possibly Raven. Like, come on, let's be real. Come on. I help. That's a dub. It's a total dub.
Recruiter Marlowe's been quiet, but maybe it's just because you've been working the back channels for the first time instead of publicly, and now you're getting more stuff done.
I've been on the back channels, but honestly, I've been a little emotionally invested. We had this was a weird. We had a lot of good freaking players on this football team this past year. It's like, wow, you know what I mean? You just look at how many guys that we just did not. Whew, there's so many freaking guys that were Gus. We got rid of Moses. We got rid of
Simpson, Clowney's still
Simp,
free agent.
Clowney,
Odell's gone.
Van Noy's open. It's like it just goes down the list. It's like, my goodness, there's so many. Even Arthur Millette was up. So it's weird. I guess I've never. Analyst Hump usually is not used to the come re-sign with the Ravens. It's more so where I'm Analyst Hump's specialty, recruiter Hump's specialty is, come to the Ravens.
Right.
I should have worked better on the stay with the Ravens. But see, I feel like, when you're doing the, stay with, it's a little more tricky. You know what I'm saying? It's a little more tricky. You know what I mean? I
That
like
but
to.
that's not up to you, right? Like, you
That's
either
what I'm saying.
have the money
That's what
like,
I'm
you don't
saying.
control the
That's what I'm saying.
funds yet. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like
Is there
that's a.
anyone on your short list of people you're trying to bring in?
We got the running back. I don't know big boys. I don't really know big boys. We need some big boys right now. We, we're we need a pass. We need a pass rusher. I think Owe is gonna have a Pro Bowl year. We got Simp to replace PQ. We just signed re-signed two nickels, Arthur and AD. We do need like a wait. Who would be that person? We do need like a Geno replacement. It's like that dime safety.
On a wideout.
We're
I
gonna
mean,
make a yeah. We're gonna make a
you
splash on a wideout. I think we're gonna do something. There's a lot of good wideouts out there. It looks like it could be trouble in paradise with Stephon Diggs. He's from DC or Baltimore, one or the other. He's from the area. You know, you know.
T.
But he
Higgins?
is he. Yo, what was up with Justin Jefferson possibly going to the Bengals?
That would not be okay.
That would not be okay. We need to. I don't know how that would not be okay at all. That would.
When
Whew,
they blocked Chris Paul to the Lakers with Kobe, we are not letting
that needs to
Jefferson.
be.
No, that's a no.
That needs to be blocked. 100%. That is disgusting. Like that's concerning. That's just not. Whew. That was. Oh my gosh. I thought about that one. I said, dang, that would. That get ugly.
And then the draft, and then you've also got the draft. But we'll get what's analyst Hump's personality and identity around draft? Like, is it GM Hump? Is it like Scout Hump? What is the?
I got to tap back in. I gotta go back to the facility. EDC. Around this time he gets super excited. He'll be walking around. He always slips up. He always slips up. He slipped up with Kyle Hamilton. He's like, man, this Kyle guy, man. Da, 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 da. Last year was Zay. They're over here. Zay comes in the building. They're acting like how thirsty everybody in the building was for Zay Flowers was actually disgusting. I was like, oh my, is this kid the best player to ever play the game of football? Like, he came in, they're like, yeah, we got Zay Flowers in there today. Like the scouts, everyone. I'm like, this kid must be. I mean, obviously he balled out and he's freaking joystick. He's freaking crazy. But like, when they like somebody, it's no one can keep their mouth shut. Basically, it's basically like if this guy's on the board, they're 100% drafting the guy. Like no question. That's basically how it goes. But those were just really special. I mean, there's always somebody special in the draft, but it'll be interesting. So I gotta.
Yeah, we got to get you back to Baltimore, and you can get the inside scoop.
Yeah, I gotta get the inside scoop.
Let's talk about things that make you happy. Not last place finishes in Mexico, but Marlon, you played in the NFLPA golf tournament over the weekend. What stories do you have for us, and what excuses do you have for the performance of the team?
I'm not a big fan of how you brought up excuses, but let me just tell you this. I went to the NFLPA Golf Classic, the second one. And first off, let's talk about my team. Kyle Hamilton, Geno Stone, Marcus Williams, Marlon Humphrey. Marlon Humphrey, not the best golfer. Marcus Williams, not the best golfer. Kyle Hamilton, legit. Geno Stone, like right up under legit. They were going to carry the team. I was going to, give me my 2 holes that we'll take, you know what I'm saying? It was a scramble. Geno Stone and Kyle Hamilton bailed on me. I don't know where they're like, yo, I can't make it. I'm like, what do you mean you can't make it? They didn't even give me a reason. So I have legit beef with them. But
And you were the team captain?
I was the team captain. So I go out there. This is like a weird thing where the team captain does not have to be the best. So basically, I get Deshaun Elliott, another AFC trader, and Brandon. Is it Brandon Jones? I don't even know his last name.
Yeah,
Jones, Miami. Deshaun says he's okay at golf. So I'm thinking like, he's okay at golf. I forget everyone's a liar when it comes to golf. I knew nothing about Brandon's golf game. Long story short, I get out there. I am the best golfer in my group, and that's when I realized this was going to be a long
Oof.
weekend. And you've seen me golf, but I will say this. I will say this. I kid you not. I kid you not. I've been golfing on air. I couldn't get to any, so I have not swung golf clubs since that time I played in Maryland at whatever place that was with Odell and Geno and somebody else. TJ?
Kyle.
Kyle, whatever.
That for everyone listening, that was in September, so over 6 months ago.
Over 6 months ago, that was my first time using my fitted clubs. This time in Mexico is my second time, but I was in the living room and I was just on air, just going through the motions. I kid you not. The best contact I've made on golf balls ever in my life this past weekend.
Really?
Yes. I mean, I'm talking about I was hey, usually when you're a bad golfer, and if you're a bad golfer, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You go golfing, you start off like I'm gonna play okay today. You go through about 6 holes and you're not feeling it. Like you're like, man, this is just not it. But you stick around by about 12, you're like, hey man, you guys just go ahead. I'll join back in the next time. You know what I mean? And then by like 18, you're like, hey man, I'm not even gonna drive here. I'm just gonna drive the car. You know what I mean? You're kind of like in it, and you're like you're kind of embarrassed because you're losing a ball every hole, and it's not good. I was for once in my life not that guy, not that guy, and for once in my life, people were like, "Yo, bro, come on, we need you," and I'm like, "Me?" I'm like, "You need." I don't know if it was the pressure that put me hitting them solid or what. Now, as like, I don't want anyone to think that this was a good performance I put on. I was hitting the ball well though. Like sometimes how you're like, man, I know my ball is gonna slice, so I'm gonna turn to the left some. So when it
Mhm.
slices, and then I hit a straight shot into the woods. And some people that would be a bad shot, but I was like, that was good contact, and that's what really. So honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you. I lost a lot of balls, but it was the first time in my life when I was like, I can be pretty good at this golf thing. I mean, I walked out of there feeling pretty. My ball got used the most. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay.
So for me, I felt good about that. But the only thing I had beef with, so the first day we got last. We tied for last. Me and Gabe Davis, his team and my team. So I go home. Wifey said, how'd you do? She said she had already told me before the trip, don't embarrass the family. I said, I ain't gonna do that. But the first day I did. I'll admit it. The second day I came back for vengeance. Deshaun decided to just leave. He literally left Mexico before the second day. So just goes to show you how his performance was. At least I didn't quit. So anyway, day 2 comes up. I'm just trying not to get last at this point. I realize Gabe's team left us a little bit. We go into the last hole. Now listen to this. Listen at this and tell me if this makes sense. We go into the last hole. We are up 1 from last place. I'm not even gonna say who the last place person was who did this, because you know what I'm saying, because I ain't gonna put him out there like this. They were going into a par 4, down 1. We were up 1. We had a par 3. We birdied. We birdied the par 3, right?
How? Who
Oh,
hit
we
that
cheated.
shot?
We cheated. But I only say that because they cheated too. How did we birdie and then we ended with the same score as a tie for last? So I
They
mean they got
didn't
an
eagle.
eagle.
They
They
didn't
got an
eagle.
eagle on a par 4. Like that did not happen. So then, long story
Who is
short,
the team captain? Who is the team captain?
freaking Austin Eckler. I wasn't gonna say it.
Wow.
The new commander, Austin Eckler. We cheated, but I know they cheated for sure. Like that.
At least you'll admit you cheated. Like they're
I,
not even admitting they cheated.
I admitted they cheated. So it was a 3-way tie for last place. Team Davis, Team Humphrey, Team Eckler. So I feel like if 3 people tie for last, nobody really got last. That's the way I see it. But I will say this: if Kyle would have came, I think we could have competed.
Who won the tourney?
I don't know who was their team captain, but it was Harrison Smith, Minnesota Miracle quarterback,
Case
Stephon
Keenum,
Diggs, Case Keenum.
Adam
Was Thielen
Thielen,
on
and
that team?
yeah,
Yeah,
and
Thielen
Kendrick.
and Kendricks. Yeah, they yeah, they won it all. See, I will say I'm a sore loser. Like I'm a sore loser. So
Was there a prize or anything, or it's just a pride thing?
I forgot what first play. They got them some belts, and then I think they got either a driver or clubs, something like that. But it was the first day was 18 holes, the second day was 9 holes, and then the front half did a uh like a you kept playing. They turned it to like a bracket, hole for hole, whoever.
Gotcha.
And so all the losers went to a par 3 closest to the pin. So I get out there, and this was kind of pressure. Like you got like I don't know how many dudes just all laughing, making jokes, and whoo, pressure's on. So I walked up there like I knew what I was doing. What bad? But I didn't have enough club, so it didn't get close to the pin. But that's okay. It went straight, and that's all that matters for me. But after that, they thought we were going to just watch the winning bracket compete. I'm like, screw this. I'm leaving. Like, I didn't win. Like, screw this. I'm freaking leaving. So I actually didn't even see I didn't even see the final round or the final, what they even got, because I was kind of soaking in my sorrows. But I was proud of myself, dude. I actually was proud of myself because my team, Kyle and them bailed on me. And I played my best golf I've ever played. So
Do you have plans to play more golf to get better, or do you think this 6 month off, one game, one round on is maybe
no,
your new strat?
I didn't know golf memberships cost a lot.
Mm.
Yeah, so I called someplace in Toronto, obviously where I've been living all off season, and they were like, it's 60K for the membership, and I was like, crap, man, I didn't know it costed.
60K. Is it like the nicest one in Toronto?
Maybe,
That's even expensive for a golf membership.
yeah, maybe. I was like, whoa, So I just need to get back
But
to.
that's not annually, right? That's just a one-time
I
payment,
think that's
and
like an
then
initiation.
okay. Yeah, yeah.
So I was like, frick. I mean, I didn't even. So, but no, I this time really inspired me. Last night, I pulled my clubs out of my little travel bag, got a toothbrush, and cleaned them. I'm feeling like if I'm gonna be there, you gotta treat your clubs with care.
Yeah.
You gotta really connect with your clubs. You gotta make love to your clubs. Like you gotta have that connection. So I feel like this weekend was the start of elitemanship in golf with me. Like I said, I might have got last, but for someone that somehow got better at golf from not playing golf, it didn't make sense. But I
The
said, man,
potential's there. The potential is there.
there we go. The potential's there, and I feel like I got a lesson from my good old guy Wayne Flint in Birmingham, Alabama, and he said, "Hey, man, look, because I got lessons. I'm like, man, crap ain't. I didn't give up. I mean, I wasn't consistent, but I didn't give up." He's like, man, look, I can't find your swing for you. You got to find it. I remember he said that, and I'm like, I wasn't saying he's a bad coach or anything, but I'm like, hey, brother, man, I mean, you gotta find it for me. What do you mean? And I finally feel like I know what he meant. This weekend, it's like when I had the club in my hand, it's like, boom. It's like I felt something different. It's like in the hand. It's like, ah, whew. Okay, enough about golf, man. I just know this, man. 80, here I come.
80?
80. Okay, let's go.
Ah,
That okay. Hey, let me stay on my high. Let me be clear. Let me be clear once again. I lost about a hole per like his best ball. I
Yeah,
lost a lot of balls. I'm just gonna be honest with you. But 120 in, oh, oh, bah, bink. And if I would have really known my clubs, how far I could hit each, oh my gosh.
yeah. You needed a caddy. You needed a caddy.
Whew. No, I had a caddy actually, but he was a bum. Okay, he
He
wasn't
was
a
like
bum.
Wayne Flynn. He
He,
was like
he,
Wayne.
he, he actually wasn't a bum. He actually was really good, but for some reason, I would like either sometimes, I don't have that Steph Curry touch. Sometimes I'm like,
Mm.
okay, just touch. When it's like, why didn't you full swing? That's like full swing. It's like back of the green. It's like, okay, touch. Why didn't you full swing? It's like I was not because he's like, yo, get your pitching wedge. There's like, bop. He's like, dang, what'd you use? I'm like, pitching wedge. He's like, oh, pitching wedge, 80%. I'm like, frick. So we just the second day though we were better. The second day we were better
Okay.
because I actually had the same caddy.
Who was worst of your crappy team?
As bad as like this is the crazy thing about golf. It doesn't matter how bad you are, anybody can save anybody. One time we used only Deshaun's ball. One time we basically only used Brandon's ball. How either one of them were hitting the ball at all, I have no idea because their swing was just very wild. But I gotta go with Deshaun. He left early. Yeah, it's probably Deshaun. Probably Deshaun.
Okay. All right. Well, get that golf game straightened out, or continue to at least play. We've got breaking news though. The hip drop tackle has just been banned in the NFL. Players around the league are commenting on it. You don't really tackle much these days. You're just a cover guy. But what's your thoughts on hip drop being banned?
I don't think I even knew what a hip drop was until this past like year. Um, but I'm very curious as to how they'll call it. Like I think about a couple years ago I got drugged by that Broncos guy, um, and I'm like, would that be considered a hip drop? Like he was literally about to drag me if I didn't sit it down. I mean, I already went for like 20 yards, so it was like, dang, you know what I mean? How else? Like, I'm just thinking about Derrick Henry. I mean, luckily he's on our team now. But it's like if that dude comes at you, you gotta sit down. I don't really. It's just gonna be very. I'm not sure why the owners wanted it. I mean, it seemed like it got. I didn't even know rules could get past that quickly. So obviously they really wanted it. It must have been like unison. But I just don't know what they've. It's like the sack on the quarterback almost. It's like it's really hard to sack somebody and not it's such a judgment call, I guess is what I'm really getting at. That I'm very interested in how they will call a hip drop tackle.
This one feels like even more of a judgment call, right? Like
Yeah, you're
it's
almost
so
guessing.
bad. Like, are they going to review every tackle now, or is it just what they call on the field? It's gonna be tough.
I saw like two pictures of Mark Andrews when he got hurt. I feel like it's really going to happen when you tackle somebody from the side.
Yeah.
Because like when you tackle somebody from the side though, you either can like try to go through the guy, or you can I don't know that Bengals guy. If that's what a hip drop is, I will say that didn't really look. I'm not trying to say like he tried to hurt the guy, but that did look kind of like a weird tackle. I can only admit that. Like it's not like he was trying to hurt the guy. It just was like just lean back, which I don't know how often
But
I
was
do
there
that.
another way for him to tackle there? That's the thing. Like
I mean,
you're
it's
at the
because
goal
when
line,
you're getting stiff armed like that, yeah, there's
right?
not really his momentum's going to take him into the end zone if you try to drive and tackle him. It's I
They
don't
didn't.
know.
Hey, they didn't change the rule to make all grass fields, so it is interesting that you know these are the rules. These are the rules. But um, you are going to be the head coach of the 2028 Olympic team. People are saying that this moves the NFL even more towards flag football. Do you have any concerns about that, or is it something you're like, all right, I'm with it. Like we don't got to tackle as much, or
like I feel like it hurts certain guys that just ragdoll people like Roquan. he's trying to get you down no matter what way. He's just a crazy. He's just wild. Like he just come here to fall. I feel like if depending on how they call it, he could be a big victim of that because he'll tackle you down no matter which. Like he's just trying to get you down the fastest way, the most
Yeah.
aggressive way. And if they're really like saying anytime you lean backwards is a hip drop, I don't know. I have no idea. I need to see some rulings or something because I'm not a fan of it. I'll say that. I just know that. That's
Okay.
that for sure.
We have a new potential guest on the pod, it would appear. Who is this lady, Christine? I was unfamiliar with her game, but I saw
So, Christian,
Christian.
I actually didn't even know much about Christian. Apparently, wifey like kind of likes Christian for some reason.
What does she
Uh,
do? What's her occupation?
she told me her origin story. She said she started off on a Blueface Baby, the rapper.
Mhm.
He had a reality love show maybe, and Christian was one of the people on the like love show. And I guess she used to fight a lot on the love show. She's a fighter, I guess.
Like physical.
Physical, I think she used to fight. I don't know. I
Like,
don't think they were fighting for Blueface's love. I'm not sure. Anyway, she ended up being with Blueface. They ended up having a kid. Christian, I guess, got really popular. I don't know how she's popular. She's popular apparently. I don't think I've ever heard wifey get excited about a celeb. So I was like, what the crap? Like, why
really?
are you? She was like, if you have her on the pod, I gotta meet her. I'm like, oh, and she's from Baltimore, apparently.
That's what I was gonna ask. Why did she just randomly tweet the Ravens are winning the Super Bowl?
I don't follow her, but I just randomly saw that and I was like, come discuss on the pod. So, possible guests down the line, you know, our people will reach out to her people. Actually, well, probably not, but yeah, I don't know what we would talk about. She seems a little wild. Seems a little wild. So if we would have to, I don't know what we would talk about, but I'm sure it would be very, very entertaining.
Okay. So, did you see what happened with Shohei Ohtani? Are you following all of this?
It sounds like he's oddly in the best. I mean, like it's not like a best situation, but it sounds like he's in a really good situation to be dealing with this. No offense, the language barrier is for sure helping a lot. I feel like
Right.
it sounds like it's like a no, I had no affiliation with this. Like it's like basically what I'm saying is he has a very valuable scapegoat. Basically, if he, I don't know, I'm not saying he did it. It just looks bad, like really bad, extremely bad. Clearly his what do they call those people?
Interpreter or
Interpreter,
translator? Yeah.
translator. Matter of fact, I was thinking, how much? I wonder how much that guy get. I mean, clearly not enough.
Well, someone was saying 80K, but then there were other docs that said he was making like 350K a year. But the point is, whether you're making 80K or 350K a year, it's probably unlikely that a bookie is going to give you $4.5 million marker so that you could get into that much debt, unless he knew that maybe there was someone on the backside. He's supposed to have a press conference today, so we're recording this on Monday around midday. I think it's coming later in the day. I kind of agree with you. It seems like he's going to be able to wiggle his way out of this one, but it
Yeah,
does feel like he probably is a gambler. Now, if he's a gambler, the only thing he's doing wrong here, assuming he didn't bet on baseball, is that he's betting through a bookie, right? Like if he was doing it legally, like you guys can gamble legally, right?
yeah.
Through the book, just not
I
on
think
football.
Yeah, I think everyone. I think all sports can gamble legally, just not on their sport, except like UFC, right? And boxing,
Yeah,
maybe.
like they can do their own. Yeah.
Yeah, they can literally just
Yeah.
bet on their own, which kind of kind of
Seems
clutch,
fun.
honestly. It's
Yeah.
like I know I'm gonna knock this guy out, so it's like, man, you actually could kind of cheat when you really think about it a little bit,
Well, why?
in a
Because you
good
couldn't bet
way.
against yourself. You couldn't bet against
No, in a
yourself.
good way. You could be like, let's say you know, I feel like there's a lot of fighters that fight someone that is just not at their level. Maybe not so much in UFC. UFC is just Wait, I don't know how boxing is, but UFC seems like anyone can lose any day. I feel like if you get a
Yeah.
wild kick or something, it's just knockout. But in boxing, you're like someone that's a slugger, like freaking who is that guy? The
Tyson
long,
Fury and
he's from
do you know
Tuscaloosa.
Wilder?
Wilder, freaking slugger. He just be throwing wild ones. He could be like, "Yo, I'm gonna knock this dude out in third round," and just be what, boom, cash in. Even though they make plenty of money, so you don't really need to do that. But either way, I think you can definitely do it legally. I'm assuming in baseball, if it's like all the other pro sports. So, but maybe the language bit. I don't know. I don't know. It sounds pretty sketchy, but I feel like either way, he can be like he can get out of this really easy. If he did it for real, he can get out of it easy. If he's truly innocent, then it's the same result. People are gonna assume you did it regardless. I feel like, and he didn't really.
That's a good point. That's a good point, right? Like, no matter what happens, people are going to say he did it, he's a gambler, whatever. So he might as well try and get out of it the best he can. I saw people saying, like, there's specific rules that would void his contract. Even if his contract gets void, you don't think someone's going to be ready to pay him? Like, it's not something that's affecting the game or really a little bit of his character. He just kind of didn't do things the right way. Like, it's a gambling debt, right? It's not an
Yeah,
assault. It's not like his performance on the field has dropped. So we will see what happens. But very interesting. Definitely the most notable baseball thing that's happened in a very long time, which is pretty funny. Marlon's tweets are back. We're in the off season. You haven't been tweeting too much. You've been busy, been active, but there were a few that stuck out to me. First one, I wonder what goes through your head when you're in a high-speed chase with the cops. Chances of getting away is so small. What were we thinking here?
it just made me think like how often in 2023 or 24 do you get away from a high speed chase?
Can't be often.
Like, what do you have in the car that is so bad that you just can't? Because once you get caught, then you're going to have to run away onto what you have in the car. But then, secondly, this is what I thought about this. Let's say I got drugs on me. I got drug. I'm talking about drugs. Like, you know, and I got a passenger with me. Let's say I don't know how drugs exactly work, like how, kilos. I got 2 kilos on me. That's two pretty big bricks, I guess. How do the cops do it if my passenger opens up the brick and just lets all the residue just fly out and just flying out, get the other bag, flying out. They still chase me. Then you just pull over.
No, you got a speeding charge, right?
Exactly. Like, can they say like, no, like we gathered it all over the highway, like, we swept it up? Like, how does that? I wonder how they would do that because that's way better than. I don't know if there's a time limit on how long the high speed chase goes. I'm not sure how that law works in that, but you only need to probably do that to let all that out. Probably like even if it's even if it's any sort of drug, I feel like all of it is in a powder, grass, I think, form.
Yeah, like
I'm just saying.
what if you drove and then you found like a body of water, you just chucked it in and it disintegrated? Like,
Ooh, now that's better. That's better.
I
You
don't
get
know.
it
I
in the
think it would be
water.
funnier if it was just flying through the highway and they got to pick up
Yeah.
like little nuggets of weed off the turnpike.
The water would be clutch, and then it
Yeah,
looks like
that
the
too.
weed looks like grass, so it's like you're good.
Yeah.
So, but it's just like, man, like I
Right,
don't
and then
know.
like you're on the grass, you're dumping the weed out, and then it's like, well, that wasn't mine. Like, how could they prove
Yeah,
whose weed
yeah.
that was?
You throw the weed in some weeds, and you're like, bro, that's what do you? But I don't know. But being
That would
of
be fun. It would be fun if someone could build some sort of game where we could actually do a high speed chase. Like that would be so fun. And then seeing like how you could get out of it. Could you escape the cops?
I,
But
I
like,
feel like there's no freaking unless you got the fastest. I don't know. Evading the police. Long story short, evading the police is not smart in a high speed chase or run away from the cops. It just doesn't. It doesn't work. But I will say, if I ever got into a situation where it was like, yo, you're going to jail for life, yeah, I'm doing it. I'm just,
you're
I'm
wrong.
I'm for sure running. I'm like, I'm getting the fam. Like, hey, look,
You're bringing Sam down with you?
I'm bringing the fam with me. We're all, bro. We are going. I don't know where we're going, but I'm not going solo. I'm not going to screw that. Okay, well, she's like, I'm not coming. Then I'm being like, okay, well,
Snatch the
freaking
baby.
screw
Take the
it. I'm taking the. Yeah, actually, that's messed up. Maybe I shouldn't take the family.
Get
You're
him the
right.
iPad. Get him the iPad.
You're right. Maybe I shouldn't take the family.
Yeah,
Maybe I'm being selfish. I
yeah,
feel like
maybe.
I'm not though. Then their life will suck because they'll be thinking
Right,
I'm
they
gonna try to
gotta
make
but
contact with them.
you're assuming you're actually gonna evade them, right? If you bring the family, it's like, "Fam, like, I got you. Like, we're getting out of this, no problem. We won't get caught."
Exactly.
If you knew you were gonna get caught, that may be a little self.
Yeah, I feel like it. No, you got to get across the pond. That's the hard part.
Yeah.
Getting
But
across
like
the
you
pond.
said, 2024 social media, I feel like going, just disappearing is too difficult these days. Everything's
It
credit card, phone number, like
it is, but isn't there like certain places you can get to and like they? No, probably not.
like you're
Actually,
outside the US, like,
yeah, way out. I
regulation.
need to go to like a. I don't even know. I need to. I actually need to. I
You
feel like if
you
you
need a
got money, you
location.
got a chance, but you have to get across the pond,
I'm with
and
you.
that's the hardest part.
Yeah. Because how do you get on a flight? Then you need a private flight, but you need a boat. It's very, very tricky. Maybe we won't have to get to that point in life. If we do,
Yeah,
let me
yeah,
know
you're
how
right.
it goes.
Yeah, yeah, very true. I'm still the
Next
pod's
week,
gonna go on, no matter what. It's gonna go on. No,
people would tune in. They're like, Marlon cannot be found, but we're still doing the pod. Um,
prank.
if it was healthy, I could have fried chicken every day. I am obsessed with fried chicken. I'm just curious, did you have some good fried chicken that made you tweet this, or it
Dude,
was just on your mind?
I've slightly been on a somewhat keto diet. Really tried to limit the carbs,
Okay.
and then I just said, "Crap, man! I'm basically doing keto essentially." And it's a lot of meat. You know, it's a lot of freaking meat, man. It's you really start missing those carbohydrates. No rice, no noodles, no bread. And it's like, you need fat apparently. Apparently for to even do all the carb because you're kind of burning more fat than carbs. And you're like, crap, man. It's like you eat a lot of chicken. Put a little, might as well fry that thing. It's greasy, kind of fattening, oil. And I'm like, dang, bro, like, now that I'm trying to get more fat in my diet,
See,
and I'm
this
not
is
that I'm eating.
this is smart, Marlon. You were trying to convince yourself, or you were hoping someone was going to reply. Actually, it's got healthy fats, and it could be a replacement for carbs. Was that your game plan?
Honestly, my game plan was I was just in the moment. I was in the moment, like, dang, bro, this chicken smacking. I could do this. I could do this like a lot. Like I could do this a ton. I love fried chicken, but I feel like don't we all a little bit? Everyone loves fried foods. I think.
All right. Last tweet, when I saw this, I actually almost started crying. I was laughing so hard. I know it came across your timeline, but Bryce Huff,
Bro,
Cuzzo.
I'm not gonna lie. Most times when someone says like someone looks like me or something like this, I'm like, no, it doesn't. Like it just doesn't. But for some reason, I think did my sister or someone send this to me, and I was like, dude actually looks like he's my cousin. A dude actually kind of looks like a dark skinned cousin to me, and I'm like, I actually didn't even know who Bryce Huff was, but I was like, dude actually kind of looks like me. Actually, it was actually it was honestly kind of weird that he made that correlation, but I was like, I honestly can't disagree. I honestly cannot disagree. It was very strange though.
For those who are not watching on YouTube, Bryce Huff and Marlon Humphrey look pretty similar. But
Yeah,
check us out on YouTube for the full visual. My last football related question for the show. You've never been a free agent, obviously, even when you got that ambiguous text from EDC. You're staying with the team. You were texting with Geno and PQ, obviously, so don't throw them under the bus. But I have never understood. There's legal tampering periods, and then the deals are done within like 8 minutes. So what can the teams can contact the players, just not the agents, or like how would someone know what team is interested? Because it gets reported all over, or are they just like this is tampering and it's nothing new? What do you know?
I actually do not know the exact rules, but I think if I'm not mistaken, there's like 97% tampering for everybody. I like it's like it's like it, I don't even know what's legal and not legal, but it's like it's super illegal. Like if like that, it's like how are these deals? It's reported like
Right.
and then as soon as free agent hits, like sign, 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 sign. This guy signed, but like the deal, you already knew the deals, so it's like it's very interesting. All I know is you do not want to be the guy not signed in those first like after those like first like 48 hours.
Yeah.
That money kind of dries up kind of fast. And this year was really, I feel like, was there that many major mega deals this year in free agency?
Kirk got paid big time. I'm trying to think if any of the pass rushers got paid like crazy,
I feel
but
like isn't
no,
there usually more than what has happened this
there was
year?
no like crazy signings, right? Like Donald retired, Mac restructure, like a bunch of restructurings because I think
Once,
like
yeah.
you're saying, like Matabike obviously re-signed
Oh
with the
yeah,
team,
yeah, resigned,
but
yeah.
nothing like no like true free agent went somewhere else.
Yeah,
That I
that
really
is
know.
weird. Like who was the
Like Keenan got
I
traded. Like,
I guess the biggest safety was Xavier McKinney.
right.
Was there any wide receiver? Oh, Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley. He
Really?
was probably
Yeah. And then like
with the
Saquon, obviously,
Saquon going to
to the
the
Eagles.
Eagles. It's weird.
Yeah.
Like obviously that's like a rival, but me not being a part of that rivalry, that doesn't even seem that big of a deal. Like it is a big deal. Obviously, it would be literally
But you
like the
just
same.
talked about like that's their same thing.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like that's like what that was a weird thing to me about the PQ thing. That
Right.
like I I people are like super crazy that Saquon did that, like the Giants fans, and it's just like being that I'm not even a part of that either one of those teams. Like it was like, oh, he went to a rival, cool, and then
Yeah.
it's like PQ is like, how could you do this to us? Like it's like night and it's just that's what that was just surprised me. But
Yeah.
yeah, that was yeah I never understood why the Giants didn't want to pay Saquon though. I don't know if it was maybe injury history or what. But I feel like the odd thing about this year's free agency, there's probably I can't think of a time when there was this many elite players in free agency.
Yeah.
Even there's plenty of guys that haven't even gotten signed. Like there's safety is kind of seems like it's kind of becoming they're kind of treating them a little bit like running backs. I feel like
Yeah. It is the
so
running back of defense now.
they are like kind of getting a little bit undervalued. They're getting cut a lot.
Except Kyle. Like Kyle, I think Kyle will be fine because he doesn't play that traditional role.
Oh
But
yeah,
yeah,
Kyle can
like
kind of
your
play
sit
any
back,
position.
yeah, your sit back safety for sure.
Yeah,
All right.
Kyle can play any position.
Let's talk not football, but football. So FC Barcelona and AC Milan are coming to M&T Bank Stadium. So you guys had a fun time with Tottenham Hotspur when you were in London, and then you did stuff with what Arsenal. That's how you became friends with that player back in the day.
Arsenal, my boy Rob and Tommy. Well, okay, I'm gonna be honest. Tommy really can't speak that much English, so definitely can't say we're boys. But he Rob helped him out. I forgot who the two guys I was chilling with in Tottenham Spurs. Um, one was a goalkeeper. One was another guy. Um, but no, I'm mad. I couldn't go to the game last year. No, that when was that? Like 2 years ago.
Yeah, I feel like it was a couple of years ago.
I couldn't go to that game. I also was thinking, do those games sell out?
Do you know? They do. Yeah, Casey says they do.
They do? Is there that many fans in the US?
Yeah, because those are like two massive, massive squad. I mean, Barcelona, obviously, and then AC Milan has Christian Pulisic. And think about it, it's the same way when the Ravens go overseas, right, to London or to
Oh, yeah,
right.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
of course, they're only there every once in a while, and those clubs are just so big that I think they have a big enough fan base. Plus, it's like a cool event if even if you're not a fan of either of those teams.
And are they just going on, like
They
dude,
do like
I
they do like preseason international tours. So like it doesn't count. Sometimes they're like these fake made up tournaments, like in season tournament almost. But I don't think like they'll call it an international cup or something. But it'll be after because they're doing a bunch of soccer tournaments this summer. The Euros, which is the big European one, and then Copa America, which is South America and like North American teams. So this comes right after that. But is there do you've always wanted to, have play soccer, have soccer money, or be as famous as soccer players? Is there anyone on those teams that you're aware of or of note?
I know the 2 squads, but I am not familiar with the soccer bros, with the football bros. But I do know that I really so being at, uh, Tottenham, I love how, like, they're I'm not gonna say groomed, because it's kinda, like, not the right word, but essentially they kinda are. Like, I didn't realize, like, these clubs I didn't realize
The
the levels.
academies.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't realize the academy part. It's like little kid Tottenham Spurs. Then like one size up Tottenham Spurs. These Tottenham Spurs, I'm like, do these kids go to school? Like, is soccer there? It's like they're basically a professional from like a
At like
child. I feel
8
like
years old. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, and it's like,
The
oh,
difference
you
is most people who know American sports, right? Like you play AAU, so that's your team that you play with, practice with, but like you don't go to school with them, right? And then
I don't go to school with
college,
them.
you go to school, but it's either one for basketball, 2 years, or pro, maybe 4 years. But this like 8 years old through the
Dude,
system, and you don't leave
dude,
the system. That's why like the if you ever have a player who comes directly from your system, they kind of become like legendary. You're talking about how you've been with the Ravens for like 6, 7 years. You're starting to feel like that purple. Like this is from when they were 8. Imagine if you were still
freaking
playing for
crazy.
Alabama, right? Like for 20 years. Has there ever
Dude,
been like a famous soccer player who grew up in a system and then went to their rival? Yeah.
Harry Kane.
Yeah, Harry Kane, I guess he came up in the Arsenal system and like this is Steelers Ravens equivalent over there and then he became Tottenham legend. It would be like if the Steelers groomed, Lamar and then Lamar came and played for the Ravens. Kind of crazy.
Dude, it's just yeah. When I was there and I was seeing all that, and they were telling me all about this and that, and I didn't even understand the rivals. So I'm like over here. I brought up Arsenal to Tottenham. I'm like nah. I got. I was like, what was their name? Like Arsenal. They're like, whoa, bruv. Like, whoa, bruv. I'm like, I'm like, whoa, like, calm down. What's going on? They're like, hey, bruv. They're like, I didn't even know that was their rival, like or whatever. And they're like
Yeah.
all freaking out and crap. I'm like, oh crap.
Yeah.
But no, I just it made me first off, they don't play around. They got security outside these fields, just they cut the grass sometimes twice. They cut the grass every single day, sometimes twice a day. Push mowers, no riding on the lawnmowers. And I just thought that was like, dang, they really take care of this grass heavily. But the kid Spurs, it just made me like, dude, you got to be pretty professional for like a long time. And it also made me realize like why like European soccer so there's I don't know if people take sports that serious. Like we take it serious here in
Yeah.
America. Like I guess mainly football. I guess there's some people that take basketball pretty serious too, but they like I don't. There's not system set up like that. I feel like in America, they do have like the high school. They do have those things. I forgot what they're called. Like the basketball. My brother went to. I know you can like leave high school, normal high school, and go to like prep
Oh yeah.
school,
Like
prep
yeah,
like
yeah.
prep school, for basketball. But I don't know to be 8 years old and like you're like essentially a Are they getting paid or no?
Maybe free schooling, maybe free house and board. I don't know what the extent is, and I'm sure it depends on what level of player. But you're definitely getting some benefit by playing at 8 years old, being locked up. It's crazy.
I wonder how often those guys don't pan out. Like how often if you start, like how can you even know if a kid's good or bad at 8 like that? Or do you just I'm very that intrigued me. The full business scope intrigued me. But well, it's in the summer. I definitely got to go. It's
It's
still
in
soccer.
August. Is it during training camp or right around it? Do you know? Yeah, I
Oh,
think
it's
it's right
during.
around. So I want to get down there. I think you should do some stuff with them, but uh, we should get someone on the pod. We should try and get one of the players on the pod and talk to some footballers.
We need to get somebody on the pod. They probably know nothing about American football.
Well, the best player on AC Milan is the captain of USA. He's
He's a
from
oh
Pennsylvania.
yeah yeah yeah
Yeah,
yeah
so
yeah.
he's
Okay,
American. But
that's like
I think it would also be fun to get like I don't know, Olivier Giroud. He's a French player. Like there's some superstars over there.
where's freaking Messi at down in Miami? That's the
Yeah.
and Messi. Why did he do that again?
He got like a deal with Apple. He gets to buy an expansion team. Like there's a level of fame and I guess success in the sport that they start offering you things that no other player is getting. You know how they made fun of Caleb Williams for wanting equity in, whatever team drafts him? Like Messi got that. He essentially
Is he
got
getting?
whatever.
He's not getting equity. Wait,
Messi?
was that? No, was that true? No, was
Oh
did
no, Caleb, no. Although if he changes the Chicago Bears like they anticipate, they might go and give it to him because those fans are just starving for a good team.
dude? He's got that. Bears got an offense right now. They got a really nice offense. Like
They're
they
gonna be
kind of
fun.
got a squad, and they got a good corner. Just paid him. They got a team. It'll be. I mean, Caleb is obviously going number one. Um, I saw somebody say that the Chargers should trade Justin Herbert for a load of picks and just completely restart. And I thought to myself, that seems like something Harbaugh would do. Like that seems like even though Herbert is really good, so it doesn't really make sense to do all that to try to get a Herbert, basically, when you have the Herbert already on your team.
But do Greg Roman and Harbaugh even want a Justin Herbert or do they want a
Forgot
different type of
I forgot Giro is he just needs an O line and a running back.
Giro showed up. They got rid of Mike. They got rid of Keenan. They brought in Gus. I mean, they are so
Dude,
funny the way that
I
they
like
do
my
their.
look, Giro.
You love Giro.
I say this every time. I love sitting on the bench and 8 minutes go by and I haven't went back on the field. Now, when it was when it's 3rd and 15 and we're still running the ball, then it kind of becomes a problem. But I love Giro. I run, run, run. If they can't stop it, why change it? If they can't stop it, why change it? They got the Gus bus over there. Man, Gus, I'm gonna miss Gus, man. Gus is my locker mate. I'm gonna miss Gus, man. But yeah,
Last thing, special edition of Analyst Humph. Do you watch any of the March Madness stuff? Does that stuff
dude,
come across
I
your
have
wire?
got to see Caitlin Clark, man. I've got to see her, even though the tournament's about to be over.
The final, if they make it, the Final Four is in Indy. That's probably like an hour flight from Toronto. You might be
I,
able
I,
to.
I think I think I need to. It's weird. I'll say this. I have not the men's. It's kind of weird. I've actually been keeping up more with the women's and the men's. What's going on with Kim the coach?
Oh
I'm
yeah,
kind of I'm kind of interested to see what drama's about to spill out of that. Like what's going on there?
this is a big day
She's
for drama with Otani and her.
dude. I don't know what she is. What is this article going to come out? It's like, are they blackmailing her? Like what's going on? Um, people are getting punched in the women's tournament. Not really, literally punched, but elbowed. Clark's dad. It's there's a lot of it's weird, man. I just have not been watching the men's at all. The women's
All
I
right,
don't know
well
why.
then Analyst Humph, give us the women's champion. What's your prediction?
I kind of want to see the Caitlin Clark win it all. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I'm not.
Yeah.
I can't rock with LSU. Point blank. Period.
Really? I thought you were gonna like the Angel Reese and everything that they're doing.
I cannot get behind that squad, mainly because it's LSU. But secondly, they're just it's a lot going on there. Like what it seems like a lot's going on, and there's nothing wrong with a lot going on. But when you already don't like LSU, and then you put together like a lot going on, it just can't do it. Can't do it. So I want Caitlin Clark to win it all. Just because I've jumped on the bandwagon. She might be the first female jersey I ever get ever. So she's probably going number one, or she is going number one. And I might get my first WNBA jersey, man. True story. I'm hopping on the bandwagon, and yeah,
She's a baller. Respect to her.
she's
All
a
right.
baller.
Well, that is everything for Punchline Pod. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button. During the off season, we're not going to be weekly, but we're going to get our pod game back on. And then in the comment section, feel free to throw down what guests we should have this off season. I know everyone wants Derrick, and that will come, but we need some other fun, creative guests as well. So don't be afraid to give us some recs there. Marlon, any final thoughts?
Hey, man, look here. If you're unhappy, I would say get happy, but obviously that's easier said than done. But try to appreciate what you have. That's it. That's out.
Peace.